Moving across the country for grad school was a big step for me. I've always dreamed of becoming a history professor, even knowing how rough the job market is. Balancing a new program, coursework, and teaching has been overwhelming, though. My therapist said that exercise could help me clear my mind, so I started taking long walks in the evenings. At first, it worked. The cool night air, the sound of my footsteps on the pavement, it helped me unwind. The neighborhood's quiet, and I've seen some amazing wildlife. Raccoons searching for food, deer grazing, even an owl perched on a streetlight. But one night, something happened that changed everything. It was a late Friday night. My teaching schedule this semester includes a recitation that doesn't end until 9:10 p.m., so I didn't start my walk until nearly 11. The streets were empty, the air was cold, and for the first few blocks, it was peaceful. Then I saw it. I'm not much of a dog person, but I thought it might belong to one of my neighbors. I called out, and it turned to look at me. Its eyes locked on mine, and a chill ran down my spine. Then it made a sound, a strange, high-pitched yelp that didn't sound like any dog I'd ever heard. I hesitated, but curiosity got the better of me. I followed it, hoping to take a picture and post it online to help find its owner. It stopped under a street lamp, and for a moment I could see it clearly. Its fur was patchy and uneven, like a mismatched quilt of brown, white, and black. Close-up of the narrator holding up a phone, the screen glowing in the dark. I reached for my phone to snap a picture, but when I looked back up, the dog wasn't on all fours anymore. It was standing. It looked unnaturally comfortable on its hind legs, like it had been waiting for this moment. Its jaw hung open, loose and slack, and its tongue lolled out, dripping saliva. Then it started walking toward me. The way it moved, it was wrong. The steps were jerky at first, like it was adjusting, but with each step, it became more fluid. My instincts screamed at me to run. I've never felt anything like it. Pure, animal terror. Just as I was about to bolt, a door down the block opened, and a woman's voice broke the silence. "Rex, what are you doing outside?" The dog, if I can even call it that, froze, then dropped to the ground. Its jaw snapped back into place and it barked, but the sound came a beat too late. The woman waved at me, apologizing. "Sorry about that. He's a real escape artist." Rex ran back to her, tail wagging like nothing had happened, and disappeared inside her house. I stood there, staring at the spot where it had been, my heart racing. For hours, I tried to convince myself I'd imagined it. Stress, exhaustion. It had to be one of those, right? But the fear I felt, it was real. Then, just a few nights later, I saw something else. This time, it was a deer. At first, I felt relieved. Just a normal deer, grazing by the side of the road. But then it looked at me, and I froze. Its eyes, they were the same eyes as the dog's. And then it barked. The sound was wrong. It was like it had heard a dog once and was trying to mimic it but couldn't quite get it right. Its jaw went slack, and its tongue hung out, just like the dog's had. I didn't wait to see what it would do next. I ran. When I got home, I locked every door and window, even barricaded the front door. For hours, I expected to hear scratching, barking, something. But the night stayed silent. Finally, I decided to take a shower, thinking it would help me calm down. That's when I heard it. The drain was making a noise, not the usual gurgle, but something that sounded like whispering. I leaned closer, and my blood ran cold. It wasn't just random sounds. It was my name, over and over. Now, I'm sitting here, dreading the next walk, the next Friday night. Whatever this is, it's not just out there. It's following me, wearing different faces. What happens when it decides to stop pretending?